Hey there, welcome back to the table. As I had, I think, stated the last time, it was going to be a couple days before I can come back, and that's exactly the case here. Trying to remember everything that's going on and whatnot. I think I got a general idea. We did go to the cantina. We got a mission. We all have to go to 15 for Andrew, and then beyond that, I think everything else is pretty reflective of where we are. We did a good job of putting cubes on to mark the places that we've already been to. This place is fully cleared. That much I remember. And let's go ahead and get started. First thing we do is we have to lower our energy. So Josh is dropping to 6. Everybody else is dropping to 5. Or should it be 4? I have I can't remember. And I have Starla was at 6, dropping to 5. Josh went all the way back up to the top because of an event. That much I remember. Anyways, we're going to say we're at 5 energy. It doesn't matter. Even if I felt like, okay, I don't have enough energy, all I have to do is just go back and cheese again. So, let's not lose our sleep over it. Basically, Josh is at 6 energy, everybody else is at, and let's go ahead and keep going. So I'm going to start here with JB, who's basically in the corner. Nobody backs JB in the corner. And we have right here, number 21. Let's go ahead and do that. And so that's our roll, and I gotta grab the book. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the cantina. Yeah, we don't need to do the cantina. So that roll instead will be used to explore north to 11. So let's do that. And here we go. We got 11 here, which you can see there's 1, 2, 3 places. So he can spend the whole rest of his turn just exploring this area. He used 1 die to get here, so he basically has 3 dice left. So the idea here is we're just going to do one of these. We'll do 33 and 10 because that's 2 dice plus 1 is 3. And that'll use up the rest of his actions. And he did roll 1 stress, so we'll give JB 1 stress. All right, done. So now we got to resolve these. And it is a little bit of a dangerous game rolling the dice ahead of time and then looking at the entries, but most of the time it works out. So it speeds up the recording a bit. A group of elders is sitting around conversing. Scattered nearby are some other citizens. They appear to be sharing stories, perhaps to help, but their present difficulties in perhaps to help put their present difficulties in perspective. One of them addresses your group directly. You look like a well-traveled band of adventurers. Perhaps you could share some of what you've seen. So, do we want to share stories with the group? Yes or no? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I mean, this game, by the way, you can almost all the time say no and then just continue on. So to choose. You can choose to lose 1 energy and regain all action dice before proceeding. He's going to go ahead and do that because technically, depending on the order we did this, we would do 33 and then 10. So we're going to go ahead and lose an energy. So he's down to 4. And I think that does explain some things, why they were off, because I bet Starla or one of them had to do that. So JB is actually down to 3. And down to 4. Starla's at 5 and Josh is at 6. I think that's the more accurate way. So, okay. So, he needs to complete. So this is where we are. You need to, you may and regain all action dice. Each time you fail, place a cube near your pilot to represent the audience's bad reaction. If you have 3 cubes, you immediately read the entry's failure. Excuse me. Okay. Well, this is a funny one. So we have to do these charm events. So you can hearts. The first one, 2, 3, and then vests. And so first of all, JB's heart is a 1. Nobody has better than a 1. So he's one of the best suited for this. So, and it has to be move. And I'm going to go ahead and just roll 2 dice. And he succeeded, but he has to get 1 stress. So he got the first success. The second success requires 3 successes. Oh, I'm sorry, he had a skill of 1. He only needed success. I'm going to take him back down 1 stress. Next, he's going to roll again. This time, those successes, so he needs both of these dice to work. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And there it is. Move and move. Those 2 plus his skill, he succeeded twice. So now he has to lose 4 dice back. And this time he needs 4 successes. And here you have 1, 2, and then his skill makes 3, and then he's going to take a stress to re-roll these dice, and you can see he succeeded pretty easily. Okay, so he passed everything. People throw money, as is the tradition on Jerarch. He gains 25 credits, especially as he spent all of those credits and didn't. So, well done, JB. That was a good pass, of course. 30 also being done. He is low on energy. We're going to have to worry about it a little bit, but go cheese it. A figure stands conspicuous themselves. If you're ever playing your copy of the game, this has tricked some people, and they get fooled on Board Game Geek or in the Facebook forum. See, that has a slash through it. So that means it's a double negative here. If you do not have not rigged. So it's a little bit, it could have been done better. So for example, this is an achievement thing, right? So if you have rigged, you can do something. This is saying if you do not have rigged, but it says if you do not have not rigged. So really done. The slash is supposed to mean that you don't have rigged. So this is the English version of that. So what it's saying basically is as long as you don't have rigged, read on. If you have rigged, then you can't do this. That's all it's trying to say, but it is extremely confusing in that regard. All right, so figure stands conspicuously. He wastes no time getting to the point. Now, the fact that this says rigged should be your clue. That's something going on, but it says, hey, look, see, you want to make a little money, cash bank? I might have a notion as to how that can happen. So do we trust this fellow? We can say no and move on, or we can say yes and keep reading. So I'm going to go ahead and trust this fellow, even though the achievement says, quote, rigged. Okay. All right, you are my, what are you? Not a you're, never mind, I don't care. Better if we're not friends, amigos, chums. Here's the plan. Plant this device on one of the Brogdons. He can tell from your faces you don't know what that is. The animals that pull the chariot. Got it? Attach one of these on them, and I'll bet big money on them. When they go by here, He points to where the racetrack goes by. I'll shoot him. Once again, the confused look on prompt. Not like that. What do you take me for? A crook? A charlatan? A troublemaker? Never. I'm just here to make some money. It's adrenaline I'm shooting them with. It should be just fine. The boost to hurry them over the finish line. Got it? I'll meet you at the finish line to the northeast and split the winnings. How do you want to get close enough to the animals? You may lose 1 energy to regain all dice. So he could charm with a heart, and he needs 5 successes, and we already know that his heart is a skill of 1. Or he can use intelligence, and he has a skill of 2. So his intelligence is much better, and he can choose to lose an energy. I mean, we're in it now. We're in it to win it. Otherwise, you're basically going to just have to move on. So let's go ahead and do it. And so here you can see we're going to gain rigged, and then we have to go find our partner. If we succeed, of course. That's assuming we succeed. So GB's got to lose yet another energy. He's down to 1 now. We're going to roll all 4 dice. And yeah, he has 2 out of the 5 already. And then here's 3, 4, 5. It was perfect. Perfect roll. Okay, so yes, so now we gain the status rigged. So we've got to go find this. And somewhere on here should be rigged. Where are you? Right there. And there she be. All right, so that just means that if I ever went back to this place, I couldn't go talk to this guy again. But what's funny is per the rules, you can't go back and talk to him anyways. Once you visit a place that doesn't have a yellow thing underneath, you can't do it twice. So we do have to find him. But here's the thing, it ends. So we succeeded at rigging this thing, and then we have to go find him, but we don't know where he is. Like he said, I'll be over there, I'm shooting with them. It should be just boost to hurry them over the finish. Got it? I'll meet you at the finish line in the northeast. So that's your clue, is you need to move northeast to find this guy. And yeah, I'm not sure this is gonna end out really well, but JB is extremely low in energy, so we may have to go back and cheese this. But let's keep going. Everybody else, we got Josh here. His thing is cleared, so I'm actually going to flip this over as well. And he needs to go up and over to do his 15 anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and go up, and you can see that that's 1 die to do. So we're gonna go ahead and roll 1 die. He rolled a stress, so that stinks, but it is what it is. So he's up to 4 stress, and it's number 8. And we do have a halt here, 24. So let's look at it real quick. So you can see here he's got a 24, and then he's got a repeatable something something there, and then everything else is just moving to a different spot. So repeatable something, and then a 24. Let's see what that is. The silence is disrupted by a young Ur being pushed out of a ground floor window. A burly Ur outfitted like a trooper bursts out the front door. She grabs the Ur on the ground by the collar and starts to berate him. How dare you betray us? I'm taking you straight to HQ. We both know what's going to happen. You'll never see your loved ones again. Only now does she notice you looking on awkwardly. What do? Do you try and break up the confrontation? Do you convince them to stop quarreling, or pretend like you saw nothing and keep walking? So this is another one of those, if you walk on, then truly nothing happens. I don't remember what the right thing to do is here, but we're going to go ahead and try to break up the confrontation. You know, we're just a bunch of nosy people. Why not? So I'm going to read this. The female Ur is prepared for you to confront her. She has no weapons on hand, so this will be a bare-knuckle brawl. You may lose 1 energy and regain all action dice before performing the skill check below. And it requires success. The good news is Josh has 2 strength. So we have 3 dice left, so we don't even have to spend an energy to pass this. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and roll the 3 he has left. And sure enough, you got some passes, but it's the attack dice now. It's not the movement one. So you got 1, 2, and then he has 3, 4 from his skill. The You're on the Ground comes to. Wow, thank you so much. I don't have anything to offer, but my aunt runs the hotel behind you there. Maybe she'd be willing to aid. When you turn back from the hotel to where the man was, he has taken a small opportunity to run away. So gain the achievement, Small Town Savior. So we get the Small Town Savior achievement. Let's try that. And there we go. So now his dice are done. Nothing left he can do there. And then we have Andrew. So Andrew, of course, has the 15, which we did last time. There's this number 9 heart here. He has 0 heart. Andrew has no heart. He's going to go ahead and roll 4 dice. He needs to get 3 move in order to pass this. And he got it. 1, 2, 3. He had to use all 4 of his dice to do it, but he did. And so he passed number 9 here. So let's go ahead and see what that involves. In an otherwise abandoned building, some medical professionals appear to be taking a break. This is where a cafe used to be near the hospital, and they still come here to relax for a few minutes. They start pointing in your direction rather excitedly. So, success. They wave you over to congratulate you. They share their appreciation for your efforts with the medic who got caught in the crossfire. Gain full health and energy. All right, so Andrew gets full health and energy. I'm being a goober. I've been modifying their health when it was supposed to be their energy. No wonder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Andrew's back to full health and energy, which is really bad timing because since JB is so low on his energy, I think we're going to have to do the cheese thing just to get back up to full energy again. Now we have, last but not least, Starla over here, and she's going to use 1 die to go north. And it's number 7, and here you can see we got another stop, and there's nothing else to do here but the stop, so let's go ahead and do that. It says only proceed if all members of your crew are present on the card or in an adjacent card. If not, have to return to the previous card. So she's forced to go back. Now, let's assume that we all were there. Do you wish to proceed? So you got a yes option. If you do not have establishment 1, go to scenario 18. So, because if you actually took the establishment 1, remember you had a choice at that last space battle to choose one side or the other. So we actually have, oh no, we don't have Sparks 1 yet. I'm sorry. Is that really true? That is true. We don't have establishment. So, okay. So what that's saying then is if you went to the establishment base, which is also on this planet, and you have establishment 1, then you go to scenario 18, which I'm sure is just, they're angry with you. Yeah, it's a very short scenario with nothing but story, and you can basically flip to the Spark side. I'm sorry, no. That's if you don't have establishment 1. See that slash? I ended up getting thrown up to it too. So if you don't have establishment 1, then you go here, and that's what causes you to join the Sparks. You'll get Sparks 1 for doing this. If you go find the establishment base and get establishment 1 and you come here, there's nothing you can do. Even if you want to continue, you don't have this, or this. None of them apply, and so you basically get kicked out and they don't talk to you. But this is what I was talking about. Like the captain said, hey, you need to go to this base and talk to the Sparks. You do find the Sparks first. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a much easier base to find. But the establishment base, what you have to do is you have to avoid this base. Go to the establishment 1 first if you want to do establishment. Because if you continue here, you're going to get a Sparks 1 achievement, and then you won't be able to do the establishment anymore. That's all I'm trying to say there. So what I'm going to do is just roll 2 more dice and get Starla to here so she can resolve her purchase. And I did roll, well, I'm going to roll 3 dice because she had 3 left. So there we used 2 of them. We didn't have to use the stress die. So we're going to go ahead and take the coins off of her thing. She finished her purchase. And I'm setting myself up to cheese. Because since JB's low in energy, we're going to cheese back to the base so we can get a full recharge and then continue exploring later. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. JB would be at 0 energy as of this next round. And we need to go back and cheese, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So 1 die, 2 die, 3 dice. Doesn't even matter if they're getting stress. It's just 1, 2, 3, and then this is going to be 1, 2, and then we're going to go ahead and do. Well, actually, I said I wanted Starla to do 15. That requires 3 dice. So my apologies. I'm going to go ahead and do. Nope. I'm going to just bring her back, and then 1, 2, 3 as well. I don't need to roll, because even if I rolled nothing but stress dice, everybody can handle it. And then what happens, and the whole point of doing this, sorry for the shaky camera, is I'm basically recharging back to 7. I'm getting the stress back down to 0. So all the energy, like JB's energy, should be at 0 right now. His stress goes back to 0. So we're basically starting over again. So now I reduce their stress by 1 because we're starting planet exploration again. And like I said, it's cheesing, but it works. It's per the rules. So now what I have is the situation of this. We've explored the whole planet this way. There's still more to go this way. You can see that there's at least 1, 2, 3 more spots. And then up here, there's 2 more spots. So I'm going to assume that there's 2 more this way as well. The establishment, if I remember correctly, is up over all the way in that top corner, or close to it. So now we're going to go back. There's a spot here that still needs to be explored. And then, of course, everything this here. And everybody needs to go there for the 15. So let's go ahead and get started. JB will roll 2 dice to get here. Oh, he needs 3 to do that mission. But yeah, there's nothing else he could do. We gotta resolve the paying the stuff. So JB is gonna roll 2 dice to get there. Actually, we'll just roll 4 because he has to go there and stop. Josh needs to do the same. So he's able to ignore the stress dice. And then Starla needs to do the same. And she can ignore the dice because you only need 2. So she's there. The only person to go there is Andrew. So we'll send him over this way with 3 dice. And he needs to do 31, which requires 2 dice. So there was no harm in rolling that extra die because he has to stop. If he had 1 die left over, there's nothing he can do. So there you go. That's 1 round. So we're back to almost where we started. And then let's continue. So now we drop an energy. I'm going down to 5 energy for every person. And let's start with JB. So he does gain 1 stress, and he purchased his thing. Okay, he's got 1 die left over, which means he can go somewhere. And remember, Starla and Andrew were sticking together. So I'm going to have JB just go north. And that works, and it's 24. You know what we should do is we should go in here and talk with them, but we'll do that later. So here's 24, just to give you an idea. And then you got an interesting, this here I'm pretty sure is a waste of time, but we'll do it anyways, just because we want to explore the whole planet. So yes, JB's up here and his turn's over. Next we'll do Josh. He gains a stress. He bought his item. All right, and then Josh is gonna move over this way with the last die, and he passes. And then we have Starla, who, I'm sorry, we're gonna have Josh go up that way. Starla, I'm gonna just roll 4 dice, 3 to do her purchase, and then 1 to move over. And boom, Starla's done as well. Her purchase is complete. And then we have Andrew here. There are 2 dice needed for this, and then 1 die to move over. So I'm going to roll 3 dice. So that's successful. Let's read 31. The din and the noise tip you off before you see the sign. Welcome to the races. Soul's face immediately lights up. Oh, we're definitely having a look at this. You assent by reluctantly following. Soul enthusiastically greets the gatekeeper. Hello, my good man. What sort of racing do we have here? The gatekeeper responds in a sleepy drawl. Tourists, huh? Well, today we got the National Jerarch Cup, celebrating the unification of our people. Seems like a big joke given everything that's going on. You only find diehards inside. The smart ones stayed home. But the odds are good. So do we enter? Of course we enter. People are scattered around the stadium, racers milling below, getting ready for the next race. The races are hover chariots being pulled by a unique 3-legged animal that must be native to Jerarch. An over-enthusiastic PA announcer blares that there's 5 minutes left. Soul saunters over to the betting window, assesses the board, stroking his chin, as though he has any insight as to whom should be bet on. So do we want to spend 5 credits? That's the first question. And if we do, then we have to choose who to place our bet on. So I found this to be a fascinating decision last time we did this. So what you got to do is we're going to lose 5 credits, right? We're betting 5. And then we're going to roll dice, 4 action dice. And based on what we roll, and which person we chose, we can either get a win or we lose the money. So the first one here is the strong favorite, Musktown. All you're betting on is that you're going to roll at least 1 stress die, which they say that's a strong favorite, but that's not, I mean, there's plenty of times we rolled 4 dice and didn't get any stress. Now, if this was JB, I think we would have banked on that like nothing. The other one is a favorite, and you're going to roll 2 attack dice. And you get 15 credits for that. Neutral, you get 2 move and 1 wild. Remember, the wild is, it has to be this. 2 move and a wild, and you get 20 credits. And then the long shot is you roll 2 stress dice, you get 30 credits. And the maverick is you have to roll 3 wild to get 40 credits, which is an amazing amount of credits. But I highly doubt you're going to pull that off. So I'm going to go ahead and bet 5 credits. This is for Andrew, and we're going to bet that we're going to get 2 attack dice. So King Bezos is who we're going to go. I actually think that that's easier to do than a stress. So now, one thing the rules don't clarify is, does a wild count? And I'm going to say yes, it does, because a wild has attack on it. But anyways, we just need 2 attack dice to get 15 credits. And there it is, 1, 2. Right? And now looking at the odds, would we have won anything else? the stress. We rolled 0 stress, so both of the stress options are out. Would we have gotten 2 move and 1 wild? Nope, we would have failed that one. And we definitely failed the 3 wild. This is actually the only bet that would have won for that roll. So makes me look like I'm awesome, but I just stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. So I never actually paid the 5 credits for him, so I'm just going to take 10 and add it to his pool, because the winning was 15. So we had to pay 5 to win 15. And there you go. We just won some races. So that's pretty darn good. And that was 2 of the dice. Done. And then we did roll 1 more die to go over. So we got to get number 20 here. The planet still has that many places for us to visit. And there you go. We are at another edge. So it's not even worth moving over. It basically, 51 is just going to be some flavor text about how there's this vast lake or whatever. Let's go ahead and look at it. You look out over the water and see some wildlife going by, a single fisherman on a boat, the wind blowing through the tall grass. You can almost forget your problems. Return to card 11. So there you go. And he has 1 die left, so we'll go ahead and roll it. He gains a stress. I gotta reach. And then he goes up to 12 here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that. So here you can see he's got a crossroads to go left or right. There's an investigation spot, and then there's this big hand spot that takes 4 success. Andrew happens to have 2 hand skill. So who's the perfect person? Who's the perfect guy with 2 thumbs? That guy. All right. So he's up there. That's the end of the round, I believe. Yes. End of the round for them. So let's take away an energy. Everybody's down to 4 energy now. Oh, gotta reach for Andrew here. Okay, let's keep going. So, we do need to go to the spark base, like I said, but maybe we'll do that a little bit later. Let's just keep exploring while we can. We got to go here for 2 dice. Do we send Josh or do we send JB? Always the great question. I will send Josh. Here's 2 dice. He gains a stress. And 25. I sent the wrong one. Or no, I sent the right one. Josh has 2 intelligence. So we're at a spot that takes 5 intelligence. And so there's a cave there. And I'm going to go ahead and go there, and I have to end his turn, because I only have 2 dice left, and I need 5 successes, and he only has a skill of 2. So we'll see what's in that cave. I think you're allowed to go to 56 and read the flavor text up until you have to, because like there's always like a entry for success versus fail. So you basically can read up to see if you even want to do the test. I don't like doing that because it's almost impossible for me to not see the success in the fail language. So I sort of get an idea of what's going to happen if I succeed or if I fail. Whereas right now, as I'm talking to you, even though I've played this mission before, I don't remember what's in there. I can tell you that usually when you have to have 5 successes, that's a pretty darn good spot to be. Like there's something in there we want. So with that being said, I don't remember what it is. And so my recommendation to you is always try to go for those big skill items, because usually the designer is not cruel, and you go through all the trouble of passing only to find out that it's a crappy reward. Okay, so with that being said, what I could have done before I left was research this with Josh, because that cost 2 dice. I didn't know. I mean, I knew it cost 2 dice to go over, but I didn't know it. I could have spent his other 2 dice doing this before I left. I mean, you could cheese it a little bit and say, okay, well, I'm going to roll his remaining 2 dice and pretend that we did it in the other order. I'm not going to do that. JB is just going to go ahead and finish it. And so here you can see he's got 2 successes. So So we're going to cover it up. I'm not going to flip over the card because this move is 2 dice instead of 1, which is not the normal. And here we go. We got 57, and there's no way to actually go this way. So JB is going to have to come back around. 57. There's a path that leads up a large waterfall. The noise is deafening, and the waves become still more narrow. The path winds behind the waterfall into a cave. There's enough light to see your way into the cave, which is not deep. An etching of a name is on the wall. Don Benvu was here. There's a date below the name from 113 years earlier. How strange. Okay, so this is interesting. Don Benvu is the name of the guy who's running the establishment. And you don't know that yet. You don't find that out until a bit later. But basically the quote-unquote president or chancellor or whatever title you want to give him, his name is Don Benvu. So the fact that you see Don Benvu was here 113 years ago, I guess you can assume normal human lifespans, right? Even though this is your race and you have no idea what kind of lifespans they have. Assuming they have normal human lifespans, the fact that Don Benvu signed something from 113 years ago should be like a giant, red flag of what's going on here. And I think I've already spoiled this before, but the establishment is run by a bunch of clones. So these leaders keep cloning themselves, and there's actually like 16 copies of themselves running the government. Like they're dividing up what they do, and basically what's happening. And this is sort of like a foreshadowing, which, by the way, we never made this connection. We totally forgot about this stupid signature in the waterfall by the time we figured out who Don Benvu really was. All this is foreshadowing is that, you got this jerk who keeps cloning himself, so therefore he stays in power, and that's the whole reason for the Sparks Revolution. So it's interesting now, a second playthrough that I see that. Like, now I'm laughing at it, but it made no sense to us. Like, we were like, okay, what a waste. That was actually our reaction. All right, so here's one more die to move south, and then one more die to move east, and so boom and boom. So his turn's done. Josh's turn's done. We're going to go ahead and go with Starla. 1 die to go north. So that's 13. And you got an 11 halt. And we got to be getting close to that military base. So what's that 11? A stout Yer is conferring up ahead. They are standing next to a vehicle that appears broken down. They wave at you. Ahoy there, could you give us a hand? All right. Every game does this crap where there's somebody broken down and he's a stout Yer. This is a bad, like I would tell you like, hey, I'm going to say yes to everything. But this is one that I distinctly remember because I remember, chastising my son for saying yes to this because I'm the one that was reading, and we always had the rule that if you're the one reading, you don't get to vote on what we're gonna do. And of course, he went to go help him, and I was like, dude, this is like classic, set up for a trap. I mean, even Admiral Akbar could have figured this one out. This is absolutely a trap. But we're gonna go ahead and say yes because. It just, for the full experience, right? Let's just find out, like, what did this designer do here? We've had a bit of a breakdown, you see? The smaller Yer tries to show where the damage is. How are you with the mechanical things? You know what? It doesn't matter. We don't need your expertise, just your credits. He nods behind you, where his large companion has snuck around behind you. This is a robbery. So we can lose 1 energy to regain all of our dice, and then we can choose to fight, convince them that this isn't in their interest, or pay some credits. So if we choose to fight, we need to have 5 strength success. And Starla has 1, 1, 1, 1. If we choose to convince them to let us go, we need to have 5 heart success. Or we can just lose 10 credits. So I think we might as well fight. Since she's 1, 1, 1, 1, it doesn't matter which one we go. We're going to go ahead and try to fight. That means that she is going to lose an energy because she's going to need all 4 dice for this. With her 1 success, all 4 other dice needs to be an attack. So let's bring the camera back. This is going to be brutal. Oh, look at that. 3 of them are. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4. She's going to take a stress to re-roll this one. And look at that. She pulled it off. So she had to take 2 stress, though. And that's fine. But she pulled it off. That's hard to do. All right. So here you can see like the fight thing. They are caught off guard by your aggressiveness. Assuming you were already beaten, the gun is easily knocked away. You're able to knock the little guy out before the larger one reacts. It's more of a struggle to deal with her, but eventually she relents, grabs her opinion, and carries him away. And that's it. You don't gain anything for this. All you did was avoid losing 10 credits. So the whole thing was bad, and I think my son actually lost the 10 credits when he did it, but neither here nor there. And of course, her turn is now over. So we now have to spend another energy. So everybody's down to 3 energy. Starla is down to 2. So you can see, like, even with the cheesing of going back to the base, you spend a lot of energy in this, exploring this particular planet. Okay, let's see what's behind door number 1 with Josh. He has to spend all of his dice. He needs move, and he has a skill of 2. He needs 5 successes. So we're going to roll all 4 dice. And this was a horrible roll. Look at that. So he's going to have to take a stress and re-roll all 4 dice. And there we go. We got 1, 2, 3. Let's see. He needed 5. So we need all 3 of these. So he'll have to take another stress. He's up to 4 right now. But that's fine. He did pass. What an awful roll that was. Holy cow. 56. It says a barely used path leads to a locked entrance at a cave. 3 entries, actually. There's a monitor to your right that is only hanging loosely by a couple of cables. Success. The monitor comes to life, briefly showing a loading screen before coming online. Welcome, I am the inventory software. You can call me Clippy. Would you like to know what inventory is available behind these doors? You can find credits and an engine upgrade. You inquire which of the doors it is behind. Good question. They are behind, Clippy's screen flashes. Security protocols dictate I cannot answer. Authorized to inform you that behind the left door is a deadly poisonous gas. Behind the middle door is a room filled with corrosive acid. Behind the door on the right is a flesh-eating razor dragon that hasn't eaten in 3 months. The credits and engine upgrades are behind one of those doors. Okay, so this is a classic riddle. I confess, my son had to point this out to me. He was like, Dad, you have an animal that hasn't eaten in 3 months, so therefore it's dead. And so the answer is to go into the right door. So yes, we need to go to C, the right door, and then we have to go to 67, of course, once we make that choice. Yeah, so for A and B, we would have taken damage. You find the dragon dead on the floor from starvation. Behind it is the money and the engine upgrade. So we gain 5 credits and engine card 16. So let's get him his 5 credits first. And then card 16. Remember, we just cards. So it's never a bad thing getting these. This is one of the ones we didn't buy. This is the Take Command card, where you can move an ally ship. So it's an interesting one. So this one, you can move someone else. You're not moving yourself, you're moving someone else. And I may have, I think when we were going through these explanations in the last video, I may have missed that part where you're moving someone else. there's nothing wrong with this. It's just that we did purchase the ones we wanted. I mean, you could replace the engine that you started the game with if you wanted. But in all honesty, these just sell for half credits. So this is just 10 more credits if you want. But for now, Josh holds on to this. He actually owns this module, and he can sell it the next time he's at a market. Okay, so he's done. He's rolled all of his dice. Or has he? Yeah, he has. So that is cleared. And then he's going to have to spend a whole bunch of dice just to get back out of there. But that's it for now. Let's go ahead and go to Andrew, who has a skill check of 4. So we're going to go ahead and roll. Do I really dare to roll 2 dice for this? That's a tough call. I'm going to say yes. So now he has to take a stress. Oh, that would have been a fail. Yeah, that's not a good idea. That was really dumb of me to do. I was getting greedy. And then we're going to do the other 2 dice, which is 52. So let's go ahead and do this. 52 is a unique mound of rock and clay nearby. Looks as though it may be man-made. Upon closer inspection, your suspicions are confirmed. It is indeed rock and clay. You sit down near it, and you gain 2 energy. So Andrew gets 2 energy. And then the 36, which we... See, I got greedy because I wanted to complete that inspection of the rock and clay and do this all in the same turn. Actually, failure, nothing happens. It says this is quieter than most areas of Jerarch they've seen so far. There's a river nearby, and the fish are jumping. Why not try to catch some? So we failed to catch some fish, and nothing happened. So we got really lucky for failing a test. Now, had we passed, you get energy and health. So Andrew actually doesn't need energy right now because he just got 2 more from the other spot. But yeah, that's what happened. So we got really lucky for being greedy. All right, he's going to spend 1. And he's going to go over. He's going to spend 1 more to go over. And it looks like this is number 9. And number 9 looks like this. So he's got plenty to do here. And he'll spend 2. And we'll go ahead and do number 55 here. Remember, there was between a lake and something, we were supposed to find a cache. So we got to be getting close to that. If you have rigged. Oh, this is a good one. And we do have rigged. The well-dressed figure you met earlier is waiting once you get to the finish line. Already there. Fine work. Good job. Nicely done. Now to the important bit. Here's your share. Gain 20 credits. That is excellent. So JB just got 20 more credits for that. And let's put some cubes out to show that we got some stuff covered up here. In fact, this one can be completely flipped over. So let's do that. And it looks like we can flip this one over too. Okay, there's a couple things that are in the back of my mind. That little hotel that kid that's that we saved and we became the savior of whatever. I would swear there was a hotel that we go to that eventually we get money for saving that kid. And maybe it's still here and we just haven't gotten to that spot yet. And then the other one that was on my mind was this guy at the race. And then the third thing is that cache. Remember we took a code because there was this map of the area and it said between a large lake, which is this, and a cave, which is way over there, there's supposed to be some kind of cache. And we haven't found that yet either. So his turn's over. Last but not least is Starla. And Starla is going to go ahead and go... Yeah, I got to put this camera down. Pushing these ships around. And then, of course, knocking them off their pedestals. One die, so no stress. Going to reveal 14 here, which looks like this. So you can see there's a spot to go left, and there's 2 spots. This one's a repeatable spot, and it looks like it's a crashed ship of some type. So we'll go ahead and go there with Starla. So, you know, do we explore them or do we keep going? I'm going to keep going. So we're going to roll another die. And I rolled a stress for her. So she's up to 3. I'm going to go to 16 here. And you can see there's a couple more spots and then another spot to the left. And then I'm going to keep going. And part of the reason is I know this is a dead end. So I want to get her to the dead end, and then we can explore on our way back if we have to. So this will be the 3rd die here. So there's that. We're going to reveal 17. And there's your dead end with a little halt, number 41, which is very likely going to have flavor text and tell you to turn around and go back. You realize you've gotten pretty far off the beaten path. Oh, there's a lot going on with this one. When you spot a solitary hut in the valley, smoke emerges from its chimney. Someone's home, but they probably don't want to be bothered. Ooh, okay, there's a lot going on here. You turn to leave, but don't pay enough attention to where you're going and step into an animal trap. It surprises you and puts you in a lot of pain. You can't help but howl from the anguish. The noise you make attracts someone right away. He's a grumpy old Ur who doesn't greet you, but instead opens the trap and scowls at you. What you got in mind doing that? You're going to attract some wild razor beams. What's a razor beam? You don't want to find out. That's who these traps are meant for. He shakes his head, debating inwardly on how to proceed. He slumps his shoulders, resigned to do the right thing. All right, you better come back with me. I'll get you patched up. The name's Ognus, by the way. Ognus helps you hobble back to his hut. True to his word, he treats your wounds and feeds you. You're not quite as good as new, but you're confident of getting back to the city. Gain 5 energy. So Starla was at 2, so she'll take 5 energy. She goes up to 7. Mysteriously, you think you see someone who looks remarkably similar to Ognus working outside. But when Ognus assures you that you're seeing things. His hut is remarkably well outfitted for someone who lives so isolated. Ognus has a very rustic setting with very modern trappings everywhere you look. An idea occurs to you. Remember, the whole cloning thing. So the designer is just very subtly introducing you to the idea that they're all being cloned. Okay, so invite Ognus to join the Akarios Institute as a medic. Let him know of your plight and ask if there's anything he can do, or leave him be. Never leave him be. And I gotta pause. My dog is going nuts here. Okay, it was a delivery guy bringing a package. So now that that excitement is over and the dog is settled, we were just getting ready to make a decision. So I do have the luxury of remembering this one. The worst decision you can make is ask him to come with us and help us, because your clue here is that he's in the far corner of the planet. He's basically a hermit. He doesn't want to be bothered with the troubles of society. So the last thing you should do is actually ask him to join you. And in fact, if you do, he just laughs at you and tells you to move on. But the other 2 choices are very, very interesting. Let him know your plight and ask him if he can contribute something. He will give you a weapon, card 10 or 16. We don't need the weapons because we actually already went through and bought the one we wanted. However, you can take it and sell it for half the credits. And one of them is worth, I think, 25 credits, which half of 25 always makes it a problem. I think you only get 10 or 15, whether you can round up or round down. So that's a good outcome, right? 10 or 15 credits is pretty good. I don't think that that's anything to be upset about. The other aspect here is if you leave him be to his quiet life and move on, that's one where normally I would tell you, you know, never choose those options because the game will just truly move you on and nothing happens. But in this case, he actually says, hey, wait a minute, and he gives you a medical handbook, and you gain a pilot skill. So I'm going to choose that option because the pilot skill is always awesome sauce. And so we're going to give a pilot skill to Starla here. And as you can see, we made it up the tree, and we can either add 1 plus 2 or get rid of 2 minus 1. So we're going to go ahead and do that for her. Whoops. And I ended up puncturing a hole. So that's good enough for government work. All right, so we gave her the pilot skill, and that's awesome sauce. Now, the other part that and then we move back, and I think our turn is over. Do we have one more die? Yes, we do. We have one more die left, if I remember correctly. But there's no location here that uses just one die, so her turn is over. All right, I think that was everybody. And so now we're going to go ahead and spend an energy. So we're down to 2 energy for most of these people. Andrew and Starla have a lot more. So let's keep going. So we got here. Josh is way over in the edge. He finished his thing. So technically, we're going to be able to flip this over. But we did that. We're still looking for the cache. There's a whole bunch of stuff to explore here. And so for Josh to get up there to join her, actually, technically, we want Andrew to be doing the joining. But anyways, Josh has to spend 2 dice, 3 dice, 4 dice just to move to here. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then none of them were stressed. So that's his entire turn. Andrew's going to spend 1 die to move to here. And that's 21. Let me put this down. Okay, so here you can see there's a giant strength check, which the best person to do that would be Josh. So maybe we'll save that for him. And he's here, and then he has to either go left or right. And since he's trying to stick with Starla, it will cost him 2 dice to go left, which is unfortunate. So he's just going to roll 3 dice to move over and then up. And there you go. So his turn's over. So we're going to leave that for Josh. And then JB over here has 2 dice. And that's going to be exploring number 53 here. There's some movement in the nearby bushes. A delicate forest animal emerges with a key in its mouth. Once it has your attention, it trots back into the forest. Do we follow? Sure. The animal's nowhere to be found. The key, however, is sitting next to a tree in an abandoned locker. You unlock that locker to find some old ship tech. Gain tech upgrade 8. Oh, that's an amazing one. I don't know what tech upgrade 8 is, but that's fantastic. Getting one for free. Interference removal. I don't remember getting this. Okay, so what this is you can spend a die to remove a negative effect on you. So I'm going to look at it real quick. Looks like it has a symbol for slow. Oh, it's got stun on there. You could actually remove stun with that. That's fantastic. Now, it could only be on a ship with an R. So the R ships are either Josh, who currently has a co-pilot, or we can give it to Andrew. We'll give it to Andrew for now. That's really nice to be able to get rid of stun. I do not remember getting that, folks. We must have missed that the last time we played this. So fantastic. All right, so that was 2 of his dice, and then 1 more to go north. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this over because this is fully explored. And then we're revealing 22, which is this one. And you can see here there's a hand, which JB is perfect for. And then there's another cave. This might be where the cache is. This might be that cave they were referring to for the cache. So we're gonna soon find out. All right, and he only has 1 die left, and there's nothing for him to do, so he's gonna end his turn. And then lastly, we have Starla, who has to explore the 2 locations that she's currently at. So we're gonna roll 4 dice for that. I'm gonna back the camera up. Oh gosh, she rolled. Okay, so she's up to 5 stress, but she's gonna explore, it looks like 39 and 40. Let me use the camera to, my eyes can't see that. Is that 38 or is that 39? Can't tell through the camera either. 39 and 40. All right, and then this one will flip over. Okay, 39. There was a firefight here. It's pretty fresh as well. At least not all the combat between the Sparks and establishment is happening in the city around civilians. That's it. 40. Whatever the battle that took place here, it took down some large artillery. Wreckage and destruction cover a wide area. There's no signs of life. There may be a chance to salvage some material for the Sparrow, though. Gain Sparrow upgrade 6. Now that is fantastic. Getting 1 for free is always good. Sparrow upgrade 6. All pilots are immune to radar jam. So right now the Sparrow can be equipped with that, and it just automatically happens. So that's great. It's not the best item in the world, but you can sell it for 20 credits and then maybe use that to buy one of the other ones. I'm definitely cool with that. All right, her turn's over. Everybody's done. Spend an energy. So Josh and JB are down to 1 energy. Starla and Andrew, of course, have a bit more. So let's keep going. Starla is going to roll 1 die to go in, and then there's 3 dice to do this. So if I can show this to you real quick. This is one of those repeatable ones, so I'm guessing it's a market of some kind. But I'm going to spend the 1 die to move in, and then 1 die for that, that's 2, and then this is 3, 4. And it's all wild, so I'm just going to roll all 4 dice at once, and then just, hope she doesn't roll a lot of stress. And she didn't, so we're good. So that part's good. Starla's actually really high on stress, so that was something I did not want her to trigger. And what that does is that leaves Andrew to do a couple of things. If this is a repeatable thing that Andrew also wants to do, he can do it before he leaves. Otherwise, he can just leave. So we're going to come in and we'll do 37 and 35. We're in that order. 37. There's a solitary, lonely signpost at the crossroads. West, military haste. East, road to nowhere. What you thought it would tell you where someone's secret base is. And of course, West is not their base. But yeah, so basically it was just a sign. And then 35, come across a mobile food. It is only here to refill before moving on, but they're willing to sell some sustenance before continuing. So you can spend 5 credits to gain 4 energy and 2 health. Starla definitely doesn't need it. And neither does Andrew. So that's probably not the best, but okay, it's a food place. All right, Andrew's probably going to find the military base, which, like I said, we don't want to do, because if we want to do the Sparks, we're going to have to go the other way. I'm pretty darn sure, like I said, the military base is going to be here or here. But let's go ahead and explore. So I'm going to roll 1 die for Andrew. I rolled a move. And so we're going to reveal this spot here, and that should be the military base. And you can see it's a repeatable number 38. So 38, only proceed if all crew members are present. If not, immediately return. I just wanted to show you, it's almost identical to the other one. So if you have Sparks 1, you have to not have Sparks 1 in order to continue. But at the moment you get Sparks 1, you're not allowed in. And that would then take you down the path of supporting the establishment, which of course is what I did during my playthrough. So that's there, and everybody would have to join him. But he got bounced back, and that's fine. And so I don't believe you have to finish your turn. I think you can, take your actions in any order. So we're going to go to JB and have him go. And you can see there's a spot. There's spots here for things, and then there's even a spot up here. But well, no, we'll go ahead and finish. Andrew will go one more and then two more. So 3 more dice. That'll finish him off. He gained 1 stress. So we'll go ahead and bump that up 1. And he finished there. Josh is going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 as well. He's going to roll 4 dice because he can't do anything with that last die. And that allowed him to void one of the stress dice that he just rolled. And then let's roll 1. So he's going to go north, and this is the very last one. And you can see it's just a dead end. Then I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see, he's got 3 dice left. We're going to go ahead and do number 34. And there's a stress for JB. We'll do 34. We still have 54 here to do, and then he can get out of dodge. If you do not have failed attempt, which we don't, you find an entrance to a cave that is mysteriously closed by a metal door. In front of the door is a terminal with a passcode entry. And then it has the 4 entries there. The JB07M is the one that we found on the map. And I wrote that down somewhere. Who did I write it down with? Right here. So here you can see we wrote down JB07 is the cache. So we found the cache. So it's definitely a JB07M, and then we go to 43. If you enter JB07, you enter the cave. It looks to have been mostly a weapons cache at one point. It is mostly picked clean now. One door is only partially open. Fortunately for you, it looks like something was left behind. Draw 2 weapon upgrades at random from 10 to 19 and choose one. Okay, so I don't want to shuffle up these cards and then have to redo them. I do have a 6-sided die. I got to figure out what's the best way to do 10 random. Well, here, I'll just gonna find 10 through 19. I know how to do this. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go 10 through 14, which is 5. 4, 5, 6, it's going to be 15 through 19. Okay, so it's going to be 10 through 14. And then we're just going to roll, and it's the 5th one. So 14 is the first one. All right. And then we're going to just go do that exercise again. So this time it's the second half, number 4. So 15, 16, 17, 18 is the next one. All right. So these are the 2 we drew. We drew Chain Laser and Breaching Shot, and both of those are excellent. We were talking about giving this to JB. We really were. It's only 3 damage though, but it's 2 targets. But we gave him Shard Launch instead, which is almost as good. This Chain Laser is really good. I do like it. The Armor Piercing is not that great, but it's just you can hit anything for 3 damage. You do need to use 2 dice though. So we're gonna go ahead and take the Chain Laser. That does belong to JB, but he can give it to anybody. And it's a scout one, so only Andrew can use it. And so I think I'm going to give it to Andrew right now. Andrew has this Proton Blast. As you can see, it's 2 dice as well. It only does 2 damage to 2 targets, but it hits multiple targets. This one is 3 damage to 1 target. So you could argue, okay, that's not as good, but it could potentially be 4 damage, and it is armor piercing. I do like it, so we're gonna go ahead and give that to Andrew. And I do have a question regarding the stress. If you happen to roll 2 stress dice, do you get to add +2? That is an unanswered question on Board Game Geek. No one will answer it for me. I've asked it several times and in several places, and it all seems to fall on deaf ears. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm going to answer yes, you can, because why not? It says stress adds +1 damage. So if I put 2 stress dice on it, then I'm going to add +2 damage. I don't think there's a limit to that. And then what Andrew can do then is he can sell this for 5 credits. And I'm going to go ahead and just do that now. I know we're not at a market yet, but Andrew's pile of money and items is over by where my cards are, and I don't want to confuse myself into thinking it was a discard. Or, I'm sorry, it's not Andrew, it's JB. JB gets the money. I know he exchanged it with Andrew, but we're going to give the money to JB. Okay, so we're done. JB, we found the cash that we were looking for, and we got another round. So we got to do our things, and then we got to get over to here. It's going to take us 2 turns. So spend an energy. Josh and JB are at 0 energy now. And Andrew and Starla have nothing left to do but to just get over here. So we're going to roll 4 dice. This one's going to be for Andrew. He gains 1 stress. Okay, and then he's going to go 2, 3, 4. And this one can also flip over. Starla can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Starla's there. Then here we're going to have to spend all 4 dice to pass that test. And he has a hand of 2. He needs 3. 1, 2, and a stress makes 3. So JB did it. Then I'm just going to go ahead and do Josh's test as well. He needed attack, and Josh got plenty. All right, so both of them passed their tests. So we have 32 for Josh and 54 for JB. We'll do the JB one first. Distorted message catches your radio as you walk through the area. Walking closer to the mountain improves its clarity. Mayday, please help. No, and it's all garbled. Squinting your eyes. You can make out a thin trail of smoke coming up from an enclosure higher up the mountain. Success. You find an unconscious human amongst the wreckage of a small shuttle. The automated message is now coming through clearly. Mayday, please help. No control of my ship. Being chased by Ronin. It continues on a loop. Checking for signs of major injuries. The pilot comes to, just barely. She attempts to speak. Please, I'm on the run. I've just escaped Medalia. I need a hospital. She passes out again. You take her to the Sparrow to get medical attention she needs. It's not a good time to brave the fighting in order to get to a hospital. Gain co-pilot Jennifer and move to card 1. So he gets moved all the way to card 1. I'm really glad I did that in the other order. And moving to card 1 was actually a blessing because he's a lot closer. But we get co-pilot Jennifer. And Jennifer is in here, and I know we had her last time we played. These used to be in alphabetical order, which made it a lot easier to find them. Here she is. So, sorry, just bumped the camera. So every time we draw a miss, we can treat it as -2 instead. Not the worst thing in the world, but not the best either. We did not use Jennifer very much, but right now we have an open slot on Starla, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to Starla. But the very moment I can replace Jennifer, I will. We like Jennifer. We're glad we have her around, but that's not the best skill. I mean, it is nice to not have a miss, but a -2, yeah. And, maybe that would be really good for Josh, right? Because he's always trying to do EMP blasts. So if we gave Jennifer to Josh, then the EMP blast would always happen. Because if you get a -2, the effect always happens. The only time an effect doesn't happen is if you draw a miss. So actually, I'm going to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and give it to Josh. And then Josh's pilot and a yellow, we'll give that to Starla. Because Starla was the one with the open slot. So yeah, Josh will use Jennifer for now, and that guarantees that no matter what, he's always going to succeed with his stuns. So that's not a bad deal. All right, and then the Josh one is 32. You hear a call for help out of the blue. You're able to follow the call to a pile of rocks that look like they fell from the mountain only recently. There must be someone under there. The person trapped underneath of the rock is starting to hyperventilate. Creating enough space to reach them, you help them pull out while simultaneously holding up the stone. They're free. They stay clinging onto you for a long while until they're finally able to talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought I was a goner. Please accept this, and you get 15 credits. Not bad. That's for Josh. So he gets himself some monies. Okay, so we have officially explored the whole planet. I would swear that there was a hotel here or something that you go to, and because you were the town savior, you ended up getting like a reward. And for whatever reason, I feel like we missed that. Although I do see, nope. And then the other thing that I seem to think we missed is that I would swear there was a medic in the middle of the battle, and you had to choose to either save the medic or not save the medic. And it turns out that the medic is actually a Ronin spy or something. There's like all kinds of like storyline about saving this dang medic, and I don't remember that at all. And this could be the wrong planet, because we did do multiple planets, my son and I, and maybe that was on a different one. But I would swear this was the one, because this is where all the Civil War is happening. And so the medic was involved in the middle of all the battle, and you had to go decide to either help the medic or not. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the round. I am going to pause because I'm going to see if I missed something with the medic, because I feel like I missed something important. But this is the entire planet. We've explored it all. Yeah, I'm just going to pause, and I'm just going to look through the scenarios here and see, how I could have possibly missed it. And then our only step that's left is to get over here and get indoctrinated as a spark. That, as JB put it in the comments, they're mostly peaceful. Okay, I definitely made some mistakes. The first one is I turned this over saying we did all of the items, but we didn't. We skipped 23 here. So Starla is already where she needs to be. We've passed through this tile many times. It only costs 1 die. So we're going to go ahead and resolve 23. And 23 is a repeatable mission. So what it is you're in a quiet part of town, and there's a hotel that says, "We assure you we're open." And so you open the hotel. You'll never take me alive. Yes, more dinner, please. There's a bunch of people talking. And basically, the big gist of it is, if you have small town here savior, which we do, we get to eat there for 2 credits. And we spend all of our unused dice. We regain all of our energy and lower our stress to 0. So basically, it's a recharge point. And it only costs 2 credits. We can rent a room for 5 credits. We spend all of our dice. We recover all of our energy and health, and then lower our stress to 0. So the only difference is this one restores your health. That one just restores everything but your health. And of course, if you don't have it, then it costs 5 and 10 instead of 2 and 5. So there's the difference. So that was one of the things I missed. So you got this hotel where you can recharge. And right now we're at 0 energy, so you could technically do it. But like I said, there's that cheese factor of you could just go to the dock and recharge there. So, it's not that exciting, but that's the whole point of the small town savior. The other one is the more egregious error. So what's Jeff without making a big mistake? This one is right here. Look at this big red 4. I somehow ignored this when we revealed this tile. I never did number 4 here. Number 4, so we're going to go ahead and start. So JB moves 1 here, right, because he got moved back to here. So we're going to move up 1. Everybody loses an energy. So Starla's down to 3, Andrew's down to 1. Since Josh and JB are out, so they're both going to gain 1 stress because they're out of energy. So JB's going to spend 1 die, go here, and then we're going to go ahead and do the 4. Should have done this a long time ago, folks. And the very first thing it says is every pilot moves to O2, and the round begins. So everybody's automatically moving there. And then it says the round begin a new round and go to 17. So again, I got to lose another energy with everybody. And then Josh and JB are going to gain a stress. Josh is up to 6 stress, so he's a little high. And then 17 is where all the magic happens. So what we got here is basically there's fighting going on both sides of the street, and there's a medic, someone saying, please, please stop, I'm a medic, let me through. And so he's in the middle of the combat zone, and we have to make a choice. We can ignore the battle, and if we do, all pilots move to card 4 and continue towards Spark headquarters, which is this one here, which would be, all we need to go to Spark headquarters and finish our mission, right? Or we could rescue the medic, which takes us down another rabbit hole. I think we want to rescue the medic, to be quite honest. I mean, that's definitely the choice that I chose before. But let's just proceed. It takes a moment for everybody to agree, and then we have to move to entry 5. So this bounces around quite a bit. So now we have to figure out how are we going to rescue this medic. So they give you a choice. We can pick up debris to use as a shield. We can sneak in the shadows. We can disguise ourselves in the uniform of a fallen Eurocombatant, or just walk bravely in the street, hoping no one will shoot you. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a shield, 44. So I got to flip to 44. And what it is now we basically grabbed a vehicle door nearby. We're using it as a shield. So we can do what's called a strength move. So we have to do a strength check of 3 successes per player. And this is where it gets a little crazy because, for example, Andrew doesn't have any strength at all. But Starla and JB each have 1. And then, of course, Josh has 2. So it doesn't say like how many dice you get to roll or whatever. So we're going to assume that you can roll all 4 dice for this. Or if you're using just what's left, I mean, JB used 1 die, so he would have 3 dice. So let's just assume he's doing 3. So here you got, okay, he had 2 successes plus his 1 makes 3, so he succeeded. Right, so that stress for him was not good though. Then Josh has 1, 2, And then the stress is not good for Josh, but he'll take it. And then that's 3 plus the 2 for his skill. That's 5 successes. And the reason we need more than 3 is because it's 3 per player. So we need to have 12 total. So, so that's 5 for him, 3 for JB. And then here's Andrew. Andrew got his 3. So 8, that's 9, 10, 11. We just need one more from Starla. I probably didn't need to do all that stress, but there's your... Actually, Starla had 1, so here's another one for 2. So we succeed. Each pilot loses 1 energy and regains all action dice, and then we keep going. Okay, so the problem with losing an energy is we're already out of energy. So Josh and JB are really high in stress right now, so they're going to start losing health. And Andrew's also taking stress. And okay, so now we got to move to another entry. And my apologies, this would have been like the very first thing that happened when you landed on the planet. So adrenaline is causing our heart to race. You're close to the medic now. What do? Do we call to the medic and provide cover? Do we talk to the... Okay, hold on. You're ready to assess this. You notice that the fighting is moving closer. You think the medic can hear you over the gunfire. If you yell, over your shoulder, you see your citizen huddled and afraid in the corner. How did you not see them when you approach the spot? So we can call to the medic and provide cover. We can talk to the stranger, or we can make a dash for it. So we're going to talk to the stranger. I don't remember which of these outcomes is better, but we're going to go ahead and try to talk to the stranger. So we're going to go to 49. So lots of bouncing around here. And this is important, though. This medic is not who he says he is. He's not a medic at all. And so we crawl up to the stranger. The young Ur is scared but unhurt. If he stays here, it'll only get worse for him. What do? Tell the Ur to stay put while you go back to the medic. Convince the Ur to make their escape while you cover. So each pilot's going to lose an energy and go back to 6. So we have to go back and do 6 over again. But then we're going to get +1 to any skill check once we go back to 6. So the only problem with the losing energy is everybody's out of energy. But so basically, now we have to do the same thing. We have to get 3 successes per player for heart. So I'm going to start with Starla. And so we got to use the move now. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then she has 1 more for 4. I'm not going to use the stress. Then we're going to do Josh. He received 1. That's it. So that's 5. And I don't want to give him the stress. So that hurts. Then we go to Enver. 6, 7. And I have to give him the stress for 8 because we're running out. Then Andrew. 9, 10. Yeah, we failed. We failed. So everybody loses an energy and regains all action dice. So Starla is at 0. Josh is at 9 stress. JB is at 9 stress. Andrew is at 5 stress. So you can see we're like almost completely stressed out. And so we go back to 6. So this thing was just a sidetrack. So we chose to talk to the stranger last time. Now we're going to call out to the medic and provide cover, which is 48. And you have to be very loud. Without hesitating any longer, you shouted him to get moving. Immediately followed, your team unleashes cover fire. Each pilot must complete the action. If any pilot fails, the medic dies. So we have to get the medic to us safely or it's going to die. All right? And whether he succeeds or dies, it then sends us to a new entry. And we have to basically deal with the outcome of that. And Yeah. So if we fail this, we're actually going to get a decent reward, even if you fail. And then the medic, of course, gets killed, and they tell you to go to 18, which, you know, there's this sniper, and you can try to, like, hunt down the sniper, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see if we pass. I think that's the first thing we're going to try to do. All right, so in order to test for the pass, every pilot has to choose 4 hand or 4 strength, and everybody has to succeed. So let's start with Andrew. He's going to try to do 4 hand, and that, of course, uses these. He passed 4 right there, and he has a skill of 2, so he passed it with flying colors. Then we go to JB. He's also going to do 4 hand. He passes it. He only needed 2. Then Josh is the troublemaker. Well, no, he has 2 strength, so he's going to try to do 4 strength. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, and he has a skill of 2. He passed. And then Starla, it's just a choice. Let's go with the attack dice. And there you go. Starla has 1, 2, has a skill of 1, and we'll take a stress, and that'll put her to 4. So everybody did pass, which is something Josh and I did not do. So this is new for me. So we're going to go, everybody loses 1 energy, which means we all gain another stress. So Josh and JB are fully stressed out. They're at 10 now. They're going to start losing health from this point forward. And you've made it to the medic, but this isn't a safe spot. You quickly guide him out of danger, away from the fighting. He pants and wheezes as he expresses his gratitude. Thank you. I never would have made it out of there without your help. The medic quickly sees to the injuries you've picked up, efficiently tending to them in a few minutes. Who are you with? Sol asks quizzically. The medic regards you suspiciously. Neither side. These are medical supplies, are for whoever needs them. I was treating any wounded citizens I could. I've heard reports of... Ugh. A sudden high-pitched gunshot rings out and the medic collapses forward. Sol springs into action, shouting, Sniper, get down. Carefully peering out, a figure can be seen running from a building at the far end of the street. Whoever that is, they deliberately targeted the medic and none of us. You with me? Sol asks as he started to run towards the sniper's location. Actually, maybe we did... maybe we did succeed last time. It doesn't matter whether you save the medic or not. The medic gets killed by this sniper. And then the reason you find out that the medic isn't who he claimed to be, we're going to be chasing this sniper. And eventually we finally catch him. And when we do, the sniper is going to reveal the smuggler and was stealing medical supplies. So, you know, there's a twist, of course, that it comes much later. But what happens is we get 10 credits and we get a -1 stress modifier card. We heal our pilots to full health and regain full energy. So that's an interesting concept. So now we all go back up to 7 energy, even though some of our pilots are at 10 stress or whatever. And the one thing that it doesn't say is we get a stress -1 modifier. Who? Who gets the stress minus? All 4 pilots are participating in this nonsense. You could say that it was JB because he was the one that initiated the whole thing. And so that's what we're going to do. So we got this stress modifier, and I got to put it in JB's deck. And the thing is I need to write that down. Like, how did he get it? Because if you ever look at his sheet and rebuild his deck, you're not going to know that he actually is supposed to have a -1 stress modifier. So I'm going to say -1 stress modifier, Jerarch added. So I know it's poor writing, but Jerarch added a -1 stress modifier. So whenever we're rebuilding his weapon deck, you know, because let's say I put the game away, I want to be able to know that he's supposed to have a -1 stress modifier, because that's the only way you're going to know. But yeah, everybody's back to full energy, and yes, we go to 18. It's not over yet. It says, what do? Do you ignore the sniper? And if you do, it moves you towards the sparks. Or otherwise, we try to catch the shooter, which keeps going. So now we're on the 63. Sniper's at a full sprint, and basically it's a lot of reading. I'm going to just let you pause the screen. What you're trying to read is this part right here. And basically you can see he gets away. So to continue, we have a mission on V3.3, and we have to scout 16. So we got all the missions we're writing back here. So I'm going to put mission 16, 3.3. So here you can see we got mission 49 and mission 16, 5.3 and 3.3. Both of those are missions that we've unlocked. And we also get this one, it's called the Chase. So we have to check this box. And of course, once we get to that mission, if we ever were to go there, one of the requirements is going to be you have to have the Chase in order to continue that mission. And otherwise, you'd be able to just skip all this and just go straight to 3.3. And then it says move all pilots to card 1, which is back to the beginning. All right, we're back to full energy, even though our stress is not depleted. Technically, you can just do the cheese option, and then your stress goes back to 0 because we go to the dock, come back. I'm not worried about it. This is the point in the game where I stop rolling dice. We need to just go 1, 2, 3 over, and then do this mission. If we ever needed to go to the cantina, we just need to go, 1, 2 over, and then do that mission. If we needed to do the establishment base, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. I mean, sure, that took you 2 turns, but you never ran out of energy. The point is we got the whole place explored. There's 3 places now that we want to visit from here on out. We want to go there for Sparks, there for establishment, which we're not even doing in this mission, so that's out. And then here for the cantina, which we already got our mission from the cantina. We don't come back here until after we've completed our mission. So the only thing left is to do this. So all I'm basically getting at is the planet is completely explored and we're done. So there's no need to be doing all this nonsense. So we can pick up the cards, everything. So, but let's go do the Sparks base. It is 14. And I'm pretty darn sure it's sending us to another mission. Yes, we have to go to scenario 18. So scenario 18 is, of course, no longer this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start picking up the cards. And I almost had it right. Now I got them all discombobulated. But basically, planet is done. You can even put these away. You don't even need these anymore. All you need is this, and love, according to the Beatles. But you do need this. So we're going to go ahead and go to mission 18. And that's what we're reading. When you head to the Capitol building to meet Commander Aldernan, the fighting full scale makes itself apparent. Sorry. The takeover is only a couple days old, yet husks of military vehicles remain strewn about. To have been hit so hard, the establishment must not have had any idea this was coming. Lieutenant Pete leads your group into the headquarters, the group consisting of Captain Soma, Sol, and your group of pilots. When first meeting Commander Aldernan, Captain Soma almost embarrasses herself by facing the wrong person. She assumes a battle-hardened figure is the commander, but Lieutenant Pete interjects as gracefully as she can muster, Sorry, Captain, there's another of our lieutenants, Salwa. This is another of our Lieutenant Sawa. Here is our commander over here. She leads the group to a figure dressed in white. Alderman is a fair bit younger and doesn't give the impression of a rugged tactical combat commander. She greets each of them warmly and makes a point of learning everyone's name. This is such a pleasure, Captain Soma. Of course, your reputation precedes you. We do not anticipate new friends so quickly. At this point, Lieutenant Pete leans in and shares some information privately. Commander Adderton nods in understanding and smoothly shifts her attention back to you. I see it's been a busy day for you. Yolindo here informs me that you need friends as much as we do. Well, that puts us into an interesting position. She pauses for a moment. I won't put too much of a fine point on it. Under normal circumstances, our meeting would include dining and politicking, but these are not normal times. There's a lot to do and not a lot of time, resources, or people to accomplish all of it. I won't ask you to fight for our side, but since you appear in need of help, I'll share the location of a nearby smuggler's stash. It's heavily guarded, and it's in the orbit of one of our moons. If you can crack it, the rewards will be well worth the effort. Adderton makes her goodbyes. Oh, and one more thing, Lieutenant Pete will be joining you. Captain, I hope we meet you again soon. She doesn't give the impression of someone who is telling you everything. So we gain the Sparks 1, so we finally have 1 reputation with the Sparks. We are now locked with them. We cannot do establishment anymore. And if we have Sparks introduction, which we do, so we basically stayed loyal to our introduction, we're going to gain 10 credits, and that is each. So that is an excellent thing. All right, and then we have a mission. So they want us to go to mission 19, 3.1. So I got to put that one down as well. So you can see now that the space exploration is opening up. We're going to be able to go in multiple directions. We can do any of these missions in any order we choose. Typically, it's just whichever one we find first, right? But we basically have 3 missions right now. We have one for the Ronin. We have one for the Sparks. And then we have this 3.3 that we just got because we're chasing the sniper. So that's our situation. We got 3 missions to do. The order you do them does not matter. Basically, right now, we're just going to try to keep helping these Sparks. I can tell you that, like, when we helped the establishment, this Commander Sawa here, the establishment ordered us to kill Sawa at the end. That was like one of the things you could do that cemented your loyalty to them. And we chose not to. We decided to try to broker peace between them. But that was one of the things. They wanted us to kill Sawa. But I'm sure that, in this case, we might have to kill one of the clones. I don't remember, I don't remember his name, but it was that guy that was in the cave that was 114 years old or whatever. So that ends it. As far as the planet exploration, we're done. Now we go back to the space exploration and we go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And when we come back, we're going to do the market before we take off. Actually, we should probably do the market now. Before we do the next mission. So I need to think this through, but basically, here's where to understand. We actually have 2 engine upgrades, 2 weapon upgrades with everybody. Now remember, we bought weapon upgrades that were 10 through 19. The only weapons available to us now are 1 through 9. So that's a step backwards. So we're probably not going to buy any of those. The Tech 1 through 13, we're going to definitely take a strong look at those because we do have room for, actually all of our slots are full, but there might be some good tech here that we would want to get. And then the Sparrow 1 through 5 is also worth getting. We're going to look at both of those. We want to make sure we have at least 2 Sparrow upgrades because we always get to add 2 Sparrow upgrades to every battle. We currently have 7 supply for the Sparrow, but just so you understand, it's going to cost 4 credits because it's 1 per player for 1 supply. So it'll be, so if you spend 20 credits, that's going to be 5 supply. And then there's a ship upgrade for 50 credits we can do, which I think I want to very strongly look at. And then we can, of course, heal our trauma for 20 credits. This is the lowest priority of all. We definitely want to do it, don't get me wrong, but that's a lot of credits, and ship upgrades are way better. So that's what I need to sort out, and let me do that, and I will pause while I think it through. Okay, I'm back. I have, so what I did was I laid out the 5 Sparrow upgrades, and then I have the tech upgrades, which were the thing that was the most interesting. These ones I didn't bother to lay out because these are the early starting ones. These are all the things that give you like cloak, which we already have, or radar jam, or shield charge. Upgrades, which will give you +1 hull, and considering our difficulty level, that might be worth doing. We have another shield upgrade. This one's an interesting one. It's basically like cloak. Enemies will ignore you as a target on the next enemy action phase. So it's just like the cloak, except you don't get advantage when you come out of it. But basically, they just don't target you. But since they're not targeting you, that I would assume they can still hit you. So if they're targeting someone else and you just happen to be in the way, they could still theoretically hit you. This one is calm. Basically, you spend a die, and then infinite targets within 5 range of you loses 2 stress. What an interesting one that is. Costs 20 credits. Only Starla can use it because only a command ship. Oh, actually, Josh can have that one as well. That's an interesting one. It might be better than Jennifer, which is just the one that lets him ignore misses. This is a weird one. It pulls ships 3 spaces towards him, but it only has a range of 2. So I don't even know how that's possible. Like, how can you move a ship 3 spaces when the range is only 2? But it's interesting. And this one here, blast packs, of course, that knocks a ship 2 spaces away from you. So you can like punch them away. Can be helpful if there's asteroids and stuff that you're punching them into. The big question is it worth the money to pay? First things first, Josh has this one, which is going to give him 10 credits because he's going to sell it. And that's engine upgrade 16. So he's going to go ahead and get out here and put that back into the mix. And it gives him 10 credits. So here's my thoughts. I really want to be able to absorb some more hits. So I think adding +1 hull and +1 shield to all ships is worth it. So this would be 80 credits. So I need to come up with 80 credits between everything I got. And then these other ones I'm not as interested in. We sort of went over those in another video. Since you can only equip 2 things at a time, this Sparrow upgrade could sell for 20 credits. I'd have to check. There might be some rule that says you can't sell Sparrow upgrades. I'll have to check. But I got to come up with 80 credits if I want to do this. So that's a lot of credits. As far as the tech upgrades go, like I said, the Jennifer one, we can afford to change that. We got this this repair co-pilot that we currently have equipped that we don't need to. So I could take the this calm. Being able to lose 2 stress is pretty darn cool. So actually, that costs 20. And that would be for Starla or for Josh. Remember, anybody could buy the upgrade and then just give it to somebody else. I'll have Josh spend it because Josh has a lot of extra money. So Josh is going to spend 20, and we're going to give that upgrade to. So instead of this, actually, instead of this, beam repair, so that heals 2 shields or 2 hull. We already have the co-pilot. It does the same thing, but better. The only difference is, of course, the stress. This calm here is just a really good way to cause everybody to lose stress. So we're gonna equip both of these onto Starla. I'm sorry, both of these. And then I can actually sell this one for 5 credits. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't need that beam repair. We ended up getting it for free, I believe. So this would be number 6. So, okay, so we made it that far in. Josh is the only one left that could possibly get an upgrade. I'm thinking I may want to get all of these as best as I can. We have the cloak for sure we need for Andrew. So then the question becomes, you know, do I get him one of these or one of these to help him? We have the thing that is the status removal, that like remove stun. That's actually really good. I'm actually tempted to say, let's keep both of those. Then for Josh though, he has 5 shields and 2 holes. So I think we're gonna get him this one. It costs 20 credits. And Jennifer, when these, so these co-pilots, they stay with you. You can't sell them or anything. They're just part of your crew. They stay with you. It's just you don't do anything with them. And so yeah, I got to pay another 20 credits out of Josh's stash. And I think that's it. I actually do have interest in buying both of these to beef everybody else up. I just don't know what I would take away to do that. So, so we're going to leave it be for now. I do want to get both of these, which is basically the same thing, but it's for everybody. And it's the equivalent of having both of those equipped. And so there we go. So we're up to 6. That's 12, 13, 11. Ugh. There. All right, techs are done. Okay, so I need to come up with 80 credits here. So I'm going to take 20 from everybody. 20, 40, 60, and then Starla here for 80. So there we go. We got both of those purchased. And then we'll take this and we just equip it like this. So this skill goes there, and then this skill goes there. And now we basically got 2 extra hit points on all of our pilots. And like I said, I have that other, I have this as well, but I can only equip 2 at a time. So I just keep the extras here. And if I could sell it for 20, I'll look it up in the rule book. I probably will, because I don't see myself ever using that over what I'm currently using. And there are some nicer ones out there than these, but I think these are excellent early game ones to take. And then from here, it's either healing trauma or doing ship upgrades. And the ship upgrades are 50 credits each. So I'm going to start with, this is Andrew, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then he'll have 10 left over. He's going to do 1 ship upgrade. And so if you look at Andrew's ship, currently he's a 4-4, meaning that he has 4 hull, 4 shield. He has not done a ship upgrade yet of any kind. And so basically he's just going to be getting 1 hull or 1 shield. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get him a shield. So we'll do that. So that's his first upgrade. And then he'll get an upgrade as soon as he does this one. I think we took the upgrade instead of this for some of those other pilots. And here we took the +1 instead of the upgrade. But there you go. So he's got his first upgrade. So he'll be a little bit beefed up. So between that, so here, that's, he's 4 and 4. And then, so I like to put like a shield and then hull. And right now, because of the The Sparrow, he's getting one of each. And then he's not getting any for any other reasons. And then, of course, for this upgrade, he gets a second one. So, I'm sorry. I put it in the wrong spot. The second one of those. So he's getting 2 shield and 1 hull bonus. So right now, he would be at 6 shield, 5 hull. That's what we're going to do for Andrew. Like I said, he has 10 credits left over. This is JB, 20, 40, 50, and he has 15 left over. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, if any of my pilots are short, I'm going to take money from other pilots, because remember, when we bought the Sparrow upgrades, that could have came from anywhere. So it just meant that, you know, that particular pilot paid less towards the Sparrow. I took 20 from everybody equally. Didn't have to. Okay, so for JB, using the same concept, shield and hull, the Sparrow is giving 1 of each. JB has 1 extra shield from his skill, or from his tech. And then here he has another extra shield, so he's at 3. And then he gets to do another upgrade, so we can take 2 hull or 2 shields. JB is currently 8 hull and 1 shield. That's why I've been beefing up his shield so much. I'm actually we're gonna do shield 1 more time. So now he's getting a bonus of 5 shield and 1 hull. That's pretty good. That's very, very good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that for JB. Then we go to Josh. This is his situation, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Josh was just super money bags. Holy cow. He paid for everybody else's stuff and this. So we do that, and then Josh's ship, same concept, shield and hull, 1 from the Sparrow, and then he gets 1 extra hull from his tech. And then here you can see he gets 1 more hull from his ship upgrade, and his situation is sort of the opposite. So he has pretty decent shields, but low starting hull. That's why we've been beefing up his hull. So right now he's at +3 hull, and then we're gonna do 2 more. So he's getting 5 and 1 the other way. And then last but not least, is Starla. And this is where I was talking about I'm probably gonna have to borrow some money. I have 20, 30, 40 with Starla, and that's it. So I need to take 10 from somewhere else. So JB is gonna contribute 5, and Josh will contribute 5. So there's 10 right there. So that's the 50 Starla needs. And Starla has a 6 and 2. And then for the shield and hull, the Sparrow is going to give 1 each. And she has no upgrades at all. So so the first upgrade is going to only give 1 more. So we're going to go ahead and take a shield upgrade. So now she's up to 2. Like that. And there we be. We just spent all of our money. We got ourselves some decent upgrades, and the higher level difficulty has made that a lot simpler. We did not buy any supply for the Sparrow. That could be a potential issue. Remember, it's 4 per. So I have 10, 15, 20. This is 10 from Andrew, 5 from JB, 5 from Josh. So that would give me 5 supply, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that too. We're going to get 5 supply for the Sparrow. There's never such thing as having too much supply on the Sparrow. Currently the Sparrow has 7. And so what we do is we just basically go to 10, and then I'm making that 12. Like that. This is the turn during a space battle, and so there's no space battle going on. So the next thing we're going to do after this is we'll do space exploration, and then it'll probably lead to a space battle, because those next 3 missions we have, I'm pretty sure they're all space battles. So that's where we're at. I'm almost to 0 on my battery, so I would like to do the space exploration and then end the video right when we're trying to set up the space battle, but I can't do that, so I'm gonna have to end it here. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.